All right, so why sell options? What can you really do with it? Like, what's the power of it? Is it too good to be true? Because for me, when I first learned about it and the concept of it, I thought it was. I really thought it was too good to be true. I thought it was just someone trying to sell me a course, or not even really sell me a course, just be like sell this false fantasy type of thing, right? Well, guys, like it's really not. It's really not too good to be true. People just don't talk about it because it's not something that's going to get you rich overnight. It's not going to happen, right? Unless you already have, like $100,000 saved up, and you're selling options, and you can bring in. If you have $100,000 account, you can easily bring in an extra $1,000 minimum every single week, right? I mean, if you're doing it on more volatile stocks, you could probably bring in close to $3,000 a week. Well, like I said, the more volatile the stock, the riskier it is, right? But so why do it? What can you do? Well, for me, what I do is I am in a ton of student loan debt, right? 100% transparency. And I don't even have a degree. That's the funny part. I dropped out, right? I was playing football and I was trying to pursue playing it at a professional level, right? Not necessarily the NFL, obviously that's everyone's dream, right? But I was trying to play at just like in the Canadian Football League, something like that, right? It just didn't work out. I ended up getting hurt. I tore my ACL, my MCL. And I wasn't thinking, right? And I feel like a lot of college kids fall into this trap. I feel like if you went to college, you can relate to this, is that we sometimes forget that, as silly as it sounds, we sometimes forget that we have to pay that money back, right? And that was how I was too. I was like, all right, just get the loan and let me go play football, right? I didn't care about school. I was terrible at school. I just wanted to play football. That was my thing. And so that was what I was doing over the years and years and years, and it just compiled and compounded and compounded, and all of a sudden, I'm $190,000 in student loan debt, and I got to start paying that stuff back in December, and I'm like, how am I going to do that, right? Like, I got a girlfriend that, I plan on proposing to soon. That's, that's a ring. That's, the wedding, between moving in and paying, just the normal. So like, how am I going to do this, right? And that was what inspired me to start learning about this stuff, right? And I can now say that I am going to be able to pay my student loans is going to be around $1,800 to $2,000 a month. That's a lot of money, right? To a lot of people, that's like crippling debt, right? But when you know a skill like this, it's not. It's not, because what's going to happen is the money that I have in my account, right? I'm going to sell these options, and this is completely different here. Something you guys could do as well, right? What I'm going to do is every single penny of premium that I make, right, which I've added it up. I know the account size I need to get to make it happen, right? It's going to need to be about $30,000. Once I have $30,000 in there, I'll be able to bring in at least a bare minimum of $3,000 of premium every single month just by selling options, 100% passive with a couple minutes of work every single week, right? Now, all that money, not all of it, obviously, because some's going to be left over, which is nice, but the $2,000 of it is going to go to my student loans, right? So I will never have to pay a penny for my student loans. It will always be, hypothetically, someone else's money who I sold my option to, right? And that's the power of it. And you guys don't have to do it with student loans too. If you're not in student loan debt or anything, I choose that as an example, right? You guys could just let it in there and just let it compound over time. I mean, imagine if you had that amount of money and every single week you were making, 2 to 3% just by selling an option, right? You do that for a year, that's 150%, right? I mean, you're looking pretty freaking good if you do that. You could take it out, you could put it into other investments, you could do whatever, you could pay off other debt, you could eventually use that to save up to maybe put a down payment on a house or whatever, right? It's a beautiful, beautiful tool once you understand how to fully utilize it. And that's what we're going to teach in this Discord right here, okay? Now, like I said, the awesome thing about this is the relief it brings, right? Because like I said, if I didn't know how to do this and I knew I had to pay $2,000 of student loans back every single month, I'll be honest with you, I don't know how I would live. I really don't, right? And I thought about that. I was like, I'm not one to get depressed or feel sorry for myself or anything like that. But it was like, wow, like what am I gonna do? But like now that I know this, it's a big, big, big relief, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. It would be nice to be able to just keep that extra $2,000 every single month and just compound that over and over and over and over again for years. But, that's not really an option that I have right now due to some decisions that I made. So that, like I said, that's not really an option. But it's the fact that I know I have the security that I'm not going to have to put any of my earned income into this. It's awesome. It's a great feeling, man. And I'm going to teach you guys this too, right? There's a lot of strategies you can do this with, right? It's not just selling calls. It's not just selling puts, right? You can do a lot of other stuff with this to really make you some really good money, which we'll get into more in depth in the courses when they go live November 5th. So I hope you guys sign up. So far, we only have 2 students so far. I believe we got about 20 people in here right now. Let's see if we can get more signups today. Let's see if we can get more signups this week. See if we can get up to maybe 10. See if we can get 8 more people in here. See if we can have 10 students. And before we really start rolling with this thing. So I'm excited to get to work with you guys. I love y'all, and peace out.